But other than that, there's a winner. I don't know if I can say it, but there's like a big knockout bonus.
But except for that, someone did win. I'm not sure if I can tell you, but yeah, there's this really big knockout reward.
So if someone knocks the other one out, they're gonna get a big bonus.
A bonus? A knockout bonus? Hold on.
So if one person knocks the other out, they're gonna get a huge prize. A prize. A knockout prize. Wait a sec.
Let's go back and confirm a few things. So there will be a winner and a loser, unlike that Floyd Mayweather-Logan Paul giant.
But it's an exhibition, but there's pro judges. There's gonna be a winner. It's not like your brother and Floyd.
No, correct. There's gonna be a winner.
And there will be a KO bonus. So whoever wins by KO.
Let's go back and check a few things. So, there's gonna be a winner and a loser, not like that Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul fight. But yeah, it's still an exhibition, just with rules. There's gonna be a winner. It's not like your brother and Floyd. Nope. There's gonna be a winner, and there's also a KO bonus. So whoever wins by knockout gets that bonus.
So your brother talks more than anybody else on the planet. Now him and the Warlock are running around trying to sue people.
Brother talks more than anyone else in the whole world. Now he and the Warlock are going around trying to sue people.
You know, that their fake fights, they're fixed and all this other fucking bullshit. But I think what people mean when they talk about it is, you know, he's gonna fight Gervonta Davis. It's like when who do you got? You guys need to fight guys your same size. You know what I mean?
You know, people say those fights are fake, they're fixed, and all that other silly stuff. But I think what they really mean is, like, he's gonna fight Gervonta Davis. It's like, who do you think would win? You guys should be fighting people your own size, you know what I mean?
I'm betting $10,000 on Gervonta Tank Davis to knock out Jake Paul on my bookie. Can you kiss my entire ass? Certainly. Listen, here's my logic. A lot of you guys in the war room, you guys told me that Gervonta Tank Davis is just taking this fight for a payday. He's just trying to get to the bag. Well, you got the fight itself, which is a payday, and you got a KO bonus on top of that, a big bonus. That's what Jake Paul said.
They're gonna get a big bonus.
And they got a side bet of $2 million.
I'm putting $10,000 on Gervonta Tank Davis to knock out Jake Paul on my bookie. You can go ahead and laugh all you want. Listen, here's how I see it. A bunch of you guys in the war room told me that Gervonta Tank Davis is only doing this fight for the money. He's just chasing the cash. Well, look, the fight itself already pays him, and there's a knockout bonus too, a big one. That's what Jake Paul said. They're gonna get a huge bonus. Plus, there's a side bet of $2 million.
It all depends on who you Yes, a person like me, I'm all for people who want to go get their money and making more money in the sport. So,
is that something you'd be open to as well? Like kind of going in that
I'm
lane?
not gonna lie. If somebody presented the opportunity to me, I would have did the same thing. Any fighter would do that, but I feel like a lot of people just mad because they wasn't presented the opportunity.
I don't think it hurt the sport. I know how this game works, man. Getting to this level and making the kind of money we make is tough. Like, say if I Show Speed wanted to fight me and they offered 50 to 100 million, why would I say no? That wouldn't make any sense. And I can come back and do it again later. We're in this to make a living, man. We're here to make life-changing money.
I think it hurt the sport. I know how this game is, man, and to get to this level and make kind of money that we make is hard. And say like iSpeed wanna fight me, and they wanna put up 50 to 100 million. Like, why would I say no? Like that don't even make sense. And I can double back after. Like I can double back and we're in this to make a living, man. Like we in this to make life-changing.
My legacy means a lot to me, though, because I'm trying to make it into the Hall of Fame or something like that. But if I get a chance to make that kind of money, I'm gonna take it, and I'll come back to focus on my legacy later. So no, I don't think it was stupid. I think they would have been really dumb not to take it.
My legacy mean a lot to me though, because I'm trying to be in the Hall of Fame or whatever, but if I got an opportunity to make that kind of money, I'm gonna do that, and I double back to my legacy after. So no, I don't feel like it was shit. I feel like they would have been dumb as hell not to take.
In his opinion, the promoters and TV networks allowed shows that were more about fun and entertainment to take over real competition, turning boxing into more of a show than a real sport. The weight champion, a guy who has never gone over 139 pounds as a pro, is up against Jake Paul, who, if you remember, was 227 pounds 2 fights ago. And last time, when he fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he weighed 199. So there's about a 60 to maybe even 80-pound difference between them.
Champion. A man that at his maximum has fought at 139 pounds as a professional. Jake Paul, if you remember, 2 fights ago fought at 227 pounds, and then last time out against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Fought at 199. So there's a 60 to 70 to maybe even 80 pound discrepancy between the two.
Shame that Gervonta Davis, one of the best fighters in the world, right at the top of his game, has so many amazing fights waiting for him, like Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, and others we'd all love to see. It's crazy that instead, he's going somewhere else just to make more money fighting a joke match against Jake Paul. Do I blame him? No. Do I blame Jake Paul? No. I blame boxing for letting things get this bad. And it's going to take something really, really big to fix it.
It is a travesty that Gervonta Davis, one of the best on the planet, at the peak of his powers, has all these great fights on the table, the Shakur Stevensons, the Keyshawn Davises, all these types of fights that we could get excited about. It is ridiculous that he now is going elsewhere to get more money to fight a joke fight against Jake Paul. Do I blame him? No. Do I blame Jake Paul? No. I blame boxing for causing this utter mess. And it is going to take something very, very special
hang on a minute.
to change.
If Tank Davis knocks out Jake Paul, not only does he get the big payday, and I win my $10,000 bet, but he also gets a knockout bonus. He gets an extra $2 million and a huge GTD on his chest like some kind of superhero for saving boxing. Everyone wants Jake Paul taken down. If Tank Davis does it as a smaller guy, he'd be our mighty mouse, bro Gervonta.
If Tank Davis knocks out Jake Paul, not only does he get to the bag, not only do I win my $10,000 bet, but he gets a KO bonus, he gets an extra $2 million, and he gets a huge GTD on his chest like a damn superhero for being boxing savior. Everybody wants Jake Paul. If Gervonta Tank Davis does it as a little guy, he would be our mighty mouse, bro.
I think he totally deserves what he's getting in the sport. The level of competition he's faced is real. People can say whatever they want, but if you look at most fighters early in their careers, they're usually fighting people who are just there to lose. Jake has never fought someone like that. So, seeing what he's done in the ring and what he's doing outside of it, it all makes sense.
I feel like it's well deserved what he's doing in the sport, the level of competition. People can say whatever they want. You look at all these fighters earlier in their career, they're literally fighting people who are there to lose. Yeah. Jake has never fought someone who's there to lose, so given what he's done inside the ring and you see what he's doing outside the ring, it makes sense.
This is what makes this fight so split between people. On one side, you've got Jake Paul, the troublemaking outsider who got into boxing using money, media, and non-stop promotion. On the other side, you've got Gervonta Davis, the true fighter, born for this, who's been grinding his whole life and earned his name as one of the most dangerous guys in boxing. Tank vs. Jake is less than a month away. May the best man lose. If Tank actually loses that fight for real, like if he gets knocked out or Jake clearly beats him, does that hurt his legacy? Not at all. Nope. No way. So if Jake knocks him out, it doesn't mean anything? Nope, it'll only affect his bank account. Oh yeah. Yo, I think Roach actually has a better chance of beating him clearly than Tank does, which would look better and give more reason for a rematch between Tank and Roach. Clip 17. Unless you took the right steps to do that, you could have just told me. You could have said, alright, look, we're going to take this Jake Paul fight. Or your team could have reached out and said, yeah, we're taking the Jake Paul fight, and we'll come back later or maybe we won't. We just don't want this fight.
Tank Jake, less than a month away. May the best man lose.
If Tank loses that fight definitively, like if he gets knocked out or Jake really beats him, does that impact his legacy?
Not at all.
No.
No.
But we've got a contract for a set amount of money and all that. It doesn't work like that. You can't just break a contract, just so you know. You can't do that. That's not how business works. That's just not proper business manners.
Jake knocks him out means nothing.
No, you'll just impact his bank account. Oh yeah, I think Roach got a bigger chance on beating him or decisively more than Tank did, which would look better and more of a reason to have a rematch with Tank and Roach.
Gervonta wasn't feeling the rematch clause and just went ahead to fight Jake Paul, and with that whole situation and how the fight went down, I think people are just, I don't know, people have problems with it because it's about 200 million.
Took the proper, steps to do so. You could have told me that. You could have told me, all right, look, we're gonna take this Jake Paul fight, or your team could have reached out and be like, all right, look, we're gonna take this Jake Paul fight, and we'll circle back, or we won't. We just don't want to fight. It's cool. All right, but we're contracted to fight for a certain amount of purse and whatever the case may be. Like, it's not. It don't work like that. You can't breach a contract. Just to let you know, you cannot do that. That's how business works. That's just not business etiquette.
Davis is way smaller, but he's a real, serious fighter. I'm calling it third round knockout. Ooh, third round. Third round knockout, he's done. Listen, I don't even know what's a bigger joke, that fight or Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather. We'll get to that in a sec. Yeah, honestly, as a boxing fan, it's just sad to keep seeing these circus fights happen again and again.
Gervonta not filling the rematch clause and just fighting Jake Paul and that whole situation and reaction of the fight itself.
I feel people people got issues because it's 200 million mandatory or either go fight for 5 million. It's a no-brainer. Like, what's a no-brainer?
A hard fight.
And we prize fighters. They prize fighters.
Right.
The prize is big, and he's gonna retire soon. So you got 200 million right here, and you're about to retire soon, or either $5 million.
I just don't think he's going to be as good as me in boxing. Like, if I went into MMA, I wouldn't be as good as him. But that's just what I believe and how confident I am. Still, I welcome the challenge, and you'll never hear me talk badly about him because I like the guy. I'm just really excited about this matchup, and I think it's great that he's stepping into boxing. Let's see if he's got the heart and stamina for it. The Tank fight doesn't seem to be happening. I saw that. I mean, I don't know. I kind of worry about fights with Tank anyway, because how can you plan something that big without knowing what's really going on? So yeah, I haven't talked to Nick Issa or heard from Jake Paul, but I did see the reports earlier.
Davis is a lot smaller, but he's a real serious fighter.
I'm predicting a third round knockout.
Ooh.
Third
round knockout.
He's out of there. Listen, I don't know what's the bigger joke, that fight or Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather.
We'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, this is honestly just disappointing. As a boxing fan, to just keep seeing these circuses happen over and over again.
Obviously, it's an exhibition, but like anything in life, you know what I mean? When you've got guys competing, like, take an NBA game, for example, there's something official on the line, it counts in the record books and all that. But sometimes when you're just playing one-on-one basketball in the backyard, it can get even rougher and more intense. Same with sparring, it might not be an official fight, but sometimes those sparring sessions are tougher than real matches. I've got a strong feeling both of these guys are going to want to put on a show. It's going to be really interesting to see Gervonta's skill against that size difference.
I just don't think he's going to be as good as me in boxing. Like if I went into MMA, I don't think I'd be as good as him. But that's just my beliefs and my confidence. But I invite that. And you're never going to hear me talk badly about him because I like the guy. But I'm very excited by the challenge. And I think it's great that he's coming into boxing. Let's see if he's got the heart and the engine for it.
Jake Paul and Tank doesn't seem to be happening.
I saw that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I worry about those fights involving Tank anyway, because how can you put the plans together for an event of that magnitude, not knowing what's what? So, yeah, I've not spoke to Nikita or heard from Jake Paul, but I just saw the reports earlier.
Obviously, it's an exhibition, but like anything in life, you know what I mean? When you get guys, I'll say this, in an NBA game, right? There's something on the line and so forth, and it's going to go in the record books in terms of being official. But you know, sometimes when you play basketball one-on-one with somebody in the backyard, sometimes that can get more chippy and physical than anything, or just like, you know what I mean? Even some of the sparring sessions sometimes, they might not be official, but some of the sparring sessions are more brutal than the fights themselves. And I have a distinct feeling that both guys are going to want to put on a show. And it's going to be very interesting, Gervonta's skills versus his size.